All right, welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really digging into a pretty wild stack of sources.
We are. We're going to try and connect the dots between a decades-long legal battle right here in New Zealand,
Yeah.
some very strange corporate mysteries, and claims of government misconduct.
Our mission is to sort of pull out the core insights from this really unusual convergence of facts.
We've basically got three threads for you. First, a 32-year legal fight, and this is a big one. It could actually be the last New Zealand case to ever go to the Privy Council.
Okay.
Then we jump to these striking parallels in the corporate histories of two totally unrelated industries. And finally, we tie it all into a fraud case in Hawke's Bay that, well, it claims to expose a shocking misuse of state power.
So let's start with the hook, the really extreme fact. Sean Allen's 32-year fight over his farm.
Yes, his 840-acre farm in Esk Valley. It was seized way back in 1993 after a helicopter raid.
A raid where police claim they found, over 1,000 cannabis plants?
That's the claim. And the key thing for you to understand here is that his farm was the very first property in the country seized under the new Proceeds of Crime Act. The very first.
And the seizure itself is what's still being fought over 3 decades later.
Exactly. Because the evidence, the very foundation of the case, seems to be systematically compromised. This isn't just a simple dispute. It's a fight over really systemic failure.
I mean, I have to jump in on the investigation itself.
Yeah.
How does a case like this even survive when the evidence problems are so extreme?
That's the question, isn't it?
Let's start with the warrant. They initially showed a warrant for the wrong person, a Sean Robert Campbell.
Right. And when asked for the proper warrant for the raid on Ellen's farm, they claimed it was just lost.
Lost. And the physical evidence, the actual plants.
All destroyed without being photographed.
And the reason for that was?
The officer claimed his camera wasn't working. And it gets worse. The police notebook from that day, it had entries in 3 different inks, pages were clearly missing, and then the whole notebook eventually vanished from the Crown Law files.
Wow. So at every single step, the chain of evidence is, you could say, broken.
It seems deeply, deeply compromised.
So you have this local legal battle that seems to highlight these huge problems with institutional evidence. But this idea of shaky foundational stories isn't just local, is it?
No. And this is where we pivot. The theme is the same. We're looking at how institutional narratives are constructed. And we found these really striking parallels between Jensen Deep Sea Fisheries in New Zealand and Janssen Pharmaceutica in Belgium.
2 completely unrelated companies.
Totally unrelated. But the specifics are what make this so compelling. Both entities, they share key founding years around 1953.
Okay, so that's when the Janssen Research Lab was founded and the Jensen fishing operations began.
Then, around 1964, both of them go through these major corporate restructures or name changes.
That is a coincidence.
And it goes deeper. They both used an identical numbering convention. The New Zealand Fishing Company had vessels named Jenko First, Jenko the Second, Jenko the Third.
And the pharma company.
They established facilities they called Plant 1, Plant 2, and Plant 3.
Okay, that's more than a coincidence. That's a structural parallel.
It is, and here's the insight. The history of the local New Zealand fishing business is, it's highly verified. You can find contemporary local records for all of it.
Right.
But the history of Janssen Pharmaceutica, especially before they were bought by Johnson & Johnson in 1961, relies much more on their own retrospective corporate storytelling. It raises this question about how powerful organizations craft their own founding myths.
And that idea of constructed narratives brings us right back to Hawke's Bay and that Jensen family name.
It does. It connects directly to the Gerald Mackay fraud case, which ran from about 2005 to 2010.
McKay was convicted of stealing, over $500,000?
$566,900 officially. But his defense was that he was set up and he blamed his account manager, a woman named Ann McAllister.
And this is where that misfeasance theory comes in.
Yes, the allegation presented in court documents is pretty explosive. It claims McKay was just a scapegoat.
And that McAllister was actually a state agent.
Exactly. Deployed under non-official cover, with the alleged goal of systematically stealing the Jensen family trust assets.
For what purpose?
To create an illegal war cache. That's the term used. An off-the-books fund for the Ministry of Fisheries Prosecution Unit, the MIPS team.
That is a staggering claim. What's the anchor for this? What ties it all together?
It's geography. It all comes down to one single address.
Go on.
The Jensen Fishing Company was restructured in 2010, right in the middle of this fraud period. Its new registered address was 36 Bridge Street, Ahuri.
And that address is significant because
It was the exact same address as the Princess Alexandra Medical Trust and Oldershaw Chartered Accountants, the firm at the absolute center of the fraud case. It's the geographic hub linking the victims, the alleged funds, and the local trust structures.
So let's just recap for everyone listening. We have a 32-year legal battle built on, frankly, questionable evidence.
Mm-hmm. Then we have these bizarre historical coincidences between, of all things, fishing boats and a pharmaceutical giant.
All tied together by a detailed allegation of a government conspiracy using local accountants and trusts anchored in one small New Zealand region.
So what this really shows you is that even the most established narratives, whether it's a criminal prosecution or a corporate history, can hide these profound inconsistencies, maybe even deliberate manipulation that stretches across decades.
So we'll leave you with a final thought to mull over.
Yeah.
If the official history of a global pharmaceutical company shares timeline parallels with a local New Zealand fishing business, how many other foundational narratives, legal or commercial, are similarly constructed or just obscured?